good evening, everybody, from the UK. I hope you've all had a lovely Easter. I can say, for the first time in a long time, the sun shone all the time through the Easter in the UK. We had a beautiful weekend, and I hope everybody got out to enjoy it. And wherever you were, I hope it was good where you were as well. So tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about tarot, because I noticed that I've never actually spoken about tarot, even though I teach it. And it was one of my first skills that I learned, really, when working with spirit. And it is such a useful tool. However, it is also very complex. And you see a lot of adverts saying learn tarot in 6 weeks and all this other stuff. And it's kind of like, I'm not quite sure how that works, because it actually takes you quite a while to get connected to your cards. Also, to put your own understanding for the card and how you feel about it. But the book that I recommend to my students when they first start off is this book here, which is Tarot Plain and Simple. And it's by Anthony Lewis with the illustrations by Robin Wood. And one of the things I really like about it is it breaks the cards down into the numbers. So instead of dealing just with the suits, we deal with the numbers. So all the ones, it tells you what the different ones mean, Ace of Swords and all of that. So I think it's much simpler, because that's the way I teach. Because for me, it's all about the energy of the card and not just the it's not just about the suit. It's about the energy of the card, where we start at the beginning from. So I think it's a really, really good book. It's called Tarot Plain and Simple. Is it simple? It's simply written, I would say, and certainly compared to a lot of other books I've picked up with regards to tarot, which could probably confuse you more than help you, I think it's a very good place to start. And then you can buy the Robin Wood Tarot pack as well, which is what I also say is a good pack to work from. Now, you don't have to work from that particular one. It comes with a little handy booklet for little, if you're trying to do readings early days and you kind of forget what the card meant, you've got a little reference book here, which I think is really helpful. But what I always say to them is, I don't care what pack you work from. You have to feel drawn to the pack. But please, when you're trying to learn, make it something that's very visual, because some of the cards out there will just have 4 wands on them, and it literally will have 4 wands. And unless you know your cards inside out, early days, you're going to find it much more difficult to interpret the cards, because it doesn't give anything away on the pictures. Whereas if you get something that's quite graphic, like I can say the Robin Wood Tarot, but there's a lot of others out there, then it really does help you, particularly early days, to interpret the cards. So that's just some pointers that I think is really quite useful. Again, you do have to feel drawn to them, and and the colours and what's going on will help you. So I wanted to pick 3 cards actually to just speak to you about a bit. And the first one is the first one on this book, which is the Fool. And the Fool is the 0 number in the tarot, and it's in the major arcana. So the Fool doesn't mean you're a fool. What it does mean that it's like a new journey that you're going on. It's the beginning of a new journey. So it would come up maybe if you're starting a new career. It could come up if you're starting a new relationship. It could also come up if you're starting and moving to a new home. And if you look at it very carefully, the Fool there is, you've got the little dog barking away, trying to warn him that he's very, very close to the edge, but he's gaily playing his flute, and he's just not actually noticing anything else around him. So it's really a message of that when you start your new beginnings, if it is a new job, then you still take, although it may be a new career, you still take that lessons that you've learned from your previous jobs, not necessarily in the same role, but certainly about working colleagues or situations you may come up against and how to deal with them. So it basically is like saying, just it's great that you're excited, and that's fabulous. Just be a little bit careful because we never know where the journey is going to take us, but we're certainly something that would be exciting for us. And all we have to do is just keep ourselves a little bit grounded, a little bit of aware of the other things that are around us. So it is a really lovely card, and it's always about new beginnings. If you look at it, it's such a pretty card as well. It's very blue, so it's always great opportunities. So it's always nice to see. So the second one, I've just picked some, I've not gone in order at all because there was just some cards that I felt that I wanted to give my interpretation, as well as what I know and how I feel about the cards from experience. So the next one is the Strength card. And as you can see, it depicts a lion and there's a girl, what looks like a girl, on the back of the lion. So this is all I mean, it literally is what it says, strength, but it does mean that overcoming obstacles and being able to cope with life. My interpretation is a little bit deeper than that. I actually feel like the lion, the king of the jungle, is giving the girl a free journey to wherever she's going. So it's those days and those times when you think, I don't really think I can make this, that you're almost getting a lift, if you like, a free lift to wherever it is so that they carry you through. And I liken it very much to the Footprints poem where it says, Jesus, on those times, when it was most difficult for me, I only see one set of footprints. And Jesus says, that's the times I carried you. That for me means exactly what that strength card means. That's the times I carried you because it really was such tough times. It also indicates to me that spirit is around you a lot at that time, trying to give you strength. So all your loved ones that are passed will certainly be working with you at that time to try and get you through whatever that difficult time is. I think it's a really lovely card, but I can guarantee whenever you get this card, you're either going to be going through a very difficult time or you've just been through a very difficult time. And it could be for weeks, months, it could be for years, because, strength, when that card comes around, we know we're going to have a hard time, but I'm also going to say to people, but you're going to get through it, and they will give you the strength and they will give you indications and they will help you in every way they can. You just don't always feel it. Okay. And the last card I just wanted to talk about this evening before I take a call is the Death card. And a lot of people get very fearful of the Death card, and it's the number 13 in the tarot pack, which is why we get unlucky for some, 13. And why the people say, Friday the 13th, don't travel on the 13th. Well, I can tell you this year, I'm flying on the 13th and I'm not worried at all. So, because really the true meaning of it is, again, the death of old ways and the start of new. So we have to have the death of old ways, the start of new. Sometimes it's by choice, and sometimes, things happen in life where, we lose somebody, or we may lose our job. We may, when I say lose somebody, it could be literally physically, or it could be a relationship that you decided you wanted to go. We could lose our house. But it means that we have to get rid of old ways of thinking, old ways of working, old ways of doing things. So the Death card is all about new beginnings, and I love it because it always means the start of something new. I do have a caller coming up, and I saw it was Carrie, and I have no idea where you're from because it's flashed on the screen and off again. But Carrie, are you there, my love?
Yes, I am.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
You sound nice and clear. That's lovely. How can I help you, Carrie?
Well, I recently got demoted at my job, and I'm wondering, do I ask for severance? Do I see if the new boss is going to make it? Or I'm just kind of wondering what to do.
Okay, sorry, you've got demoted, you said?
Yes.
Okay. You have a father in spirit?
Grandfather.
He comes through as like a father, so you must have been very, very close to him.
Okay.
He comes through as like a father.
My dad's dad.
Okay, that's fine. He comes through as like a father, though, rather than a grandfather, and that can sometimes happen. But what I feel is, again, I want to give you the strength card, which is interestingly what we were talking about before, because I know you've had a bit of a time. What I do feel is that I don't think things have been right for some time. Is it Carrie? I have got the right name, have I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, yeah, Carrie. So I'm right in saying that things haven't been right for a while. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I feel that your boss was putting on you, for want of a better way of putting it. I don't know what the terminology would be in America, but it would be like heaping stuff onto you, which I felt was very unfair. I felt that it was almost constructive the way that they did it.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So, what your grandfather says is bide your time. So I don't feel that you're going to stay where you are, if you want me to be honest. But his words are use them like they've used you. Does
And
that
my
make
new
sense?
boss is treating me terribly. So
Well, use them, i.e., don't. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to do some cards, but what they're saying to me is bide your time, like find the right role, find the right thing. I mean, for you. So don't just, I always say run to something, don't run something from something. So it's finding the right thing for you. In this country, you could probably have your company for what I called constructive dismissal. However, I don't know if that applies in America, does it?
no, not really. I mean, they didn't do
No.
anything
Okay.
illegal. They just made it impossible for me to
Well, in
succeed.
this country, that's illegal. In this country, that's illegal. So it would be constructive dismissal in this country. But I know that your laws are different. So what I'm trying to say to you is, in other words, if they make it impossible for you to do your job and they want you out or they push you out, it's just a way that they're making you. It's illegal in this country. However, here's where I'm going to say: do I think you'll stay where you are? No, I think you should be moving. Do I think it's soon? Yes, but I think maybe in the next sort of 6 months. Have you looked at anything at all, Carrie?
I've applied for a few things. I thought about asking for a severance here, um, where they would pay me
Yeah.
something and end
Well, you
my
certainly.
job here, but I'm worried I would be unemployed too long or I wouldn't find something right away.
Well, this is why, again, I think you play the game your way. Your grandfather's absolutely right when he says to you, use them like they've used you. In other words, don't leave tomorrow. What I would say is find yourself an opportunity, and it really isn't very far away. You have the lovely victory card, and you've got new beginnings here. The other thing I've got for you is new learning. So I don't know if you wanted to do something maybe a little bit more spiritual or something very different to what you're doing today, because I don't necessarily see you staying in the same field.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do.
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised. When we go through those sorts of situations, we certainly do feel there's a loss coming. Okay, so look, I think that if you don't go, I think at some point they'll find a way to get rid of you, which could be a positive thing because they could give you redundancy. However, I think you take the bull by the horns and go and look for something. The trouble is, you feel on your knees, for want of a better way of putting it. And when we feel like that, we don't think we're capable. So, something we need to work on is our confidence and self esteem there. Because unfortunately, when somebody is constantly having a go at us, whether it be personal, business, whatever, it's like actually you just feel worthless. And that's how they've made you feel.
Do
I
you
actually don't
feel
like.
that? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't particularly like the way your company operates, full stop. The
Yeah.
company you work for. Do you understand?
Well, I was wondering if I could ask them for some insurance coverage and a couple weeks of pay and just leave on my own before they can fire me.
Um, well, your granddad says they haven't got grounds to follow you to actually get rid of you. I would say
They're
yes,
working on
because it protects. Yeah, it protects your. It gives you integrity. It protects your character and your work ethics. But there is something weird going on with that company anyway. I just feel it's out of control.
So will this new boss? I guess I don't understand what her issue with me is. She wasn't here before.
I'm sorry, you broke up there a bit. What did you say, my love?
This new boss is being terrible towards me. And I don't know why she's so angry with me.
Okay. Well, generally, when somebody is angry, it's usually something to do with them rather than you. So this is why I'm saying to you, I think there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes in your company, and unfortunately, the people at the bottom get the biggest kicks in a way. But I feel like your boss and everybody on the way down is also getting kicked. You do need to get out of there, but I just think you shouldn't just go out there with nothing. So if you feel that you can get some severance and ask for it, then I would certainly do that. But I think it's also important that you go out with your head held high and that actually you feel like you've got something to go to.
Okay.
But there is something wrong with the company. That's okay. The only thing I'd say is I wouldn't want to stay with that company anyway. There's something very strange about the whole process, my love.
Yeah, it hasn't been good.
Do you know, I'd almost say there's a lot of underhand things going on. I'm not saying it feels illegal, but it doesn't feel that something's quite right.
Well, I don't know why it's being directed on me.
Because they can is the answer to that. I don't mean that rudely, but sometimes it's because you're there. I don't mean, no, but it is. It's reality. And they'll always pick on the ones that they can, and probably the most vulnerable. I am being told you are a very lovely lady from your granddad. I've got no doubts that you are. But I just felt as if there's an old saying in the UK that they've thrown the bathwater out with the baby. And they always say, don't throw the bathwater out with the baby. In other words, whatever the issues are, you don't throw good staff away, or you don't just throw everything out. And I feel that that's what they're doing. But I don't think you're going to be the only one, Carrie. I really feel like there's other people. Like, you could be the first, but I think there's others to go as well.
Okay. So, I mean, it did take my ground up or my self-esteem when this happened. So
it will do. But please make sure you understand that you get some help with your confidence and self-esteem, because you're not the issue. They are.
Okay.
I actually feel your boss is a bit mad. I mean, literally. I don't mean just angry. I meant a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie. Does that help you, my lovey? But you will get another job. You have got a nice steady growth of money. There is something that you're going to have that you're going to absolutely love. It certainly isn't where you are, but I have new learning and training for you. So I would widen your search and not restrict it just to where you are at the moment. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
All right, my lovey. Look after you, won't you?
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So is it Tamara next, was it? Is it Tamara? Hello? Okay, my love, no worries. Sorry, we've just lost the caller, which is great on an evening like this, but we'll find them again. Dave's gone to find her again. I think it was Tamara. And so interesting, we were talking about the strength. And then I had that call about that lady that's going through a really difficult time. You know, I don't know why I picked the strength out tonight, and maybe that's why I did, because I think so many of us are going through difficult times in so many different walks of life. Not only is there a war going on, obviously, but, you know, we're having a crisis within our homes because the cost of everything, certainly in the UK, and I'm assuming it's pretty much the same across Europe and the States and that. So, you know, perfect. Okay. So we all have our own things. Tamara, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Good.
Thank
hello,
you for
nice to speak
calling
to you. You're welcome. You're through to Lesley. How can I help you?
I have written a novel titled A Chosen Journey, a self-help guide to abuse and addiction. And I wanted to
Sorry, a chosen journey, did you say, my love?
Yes, A Chosen Journey as a self-help guide to abuse and addiction. And it's all about young people that are addicted and in rehab and how they come out. Some end up working in the hospital and one passes away by her own hand. And I want to know what your feelings are about my book.
Well, one thing I feel is very deep. I think it's a very deep book. But I think it addresses major issues. It's telling me, I don't know, I've not read your book, but it tells me it addresses major issues. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I think it's very real, and I think it's very out there. And I think for me, it's like there will be a lot of people that get a lot from it. But I also think that people go, I can't cope with that. And it may be just a little bit close to home. And as we know, addictions are very much, we don't want to deal with it with some people, it's like, I can't deal with that today.
Right.
However, I do think it will be successful. And the other thing I feel like, I don't know if this is correct for you, but I feel like you're talking about your book to like a room full of people. So I don't know if you're going around rehabilitation centres or any. I just feel like you're talking about your book to these people.
I'm going to be taking it to the jails and reading it to the ladies each week.
Perfect. Okay, because I felt we had a room full of people, and we were. So I do think it is. The other thing I feel that it would be really interesting is they're telling me it would be relevant for children even at school.
That's what I was going to tell you. I'm going to be taking it to the high schools and offering it to them and telling them the story.
Perfect. Okay, because I feel it's like getting them before they go down that route or, go down that slippery route. And actually, some of them may already know, children that have maybe passed with drugs or whatever. By the time we get into, you call it high school, I think we call it uni, I'm not sure. But anyway, of the different schools. But I do think it would be really useful. And I think I'm being told, get it while they're young. Get them while they're young.
Right. And that's so exactly how I feel. I want to reach them before someone that does drugs reaches them.
And that's it. Yeah. Again, I definitely feel that that's something that would be very beneficial. Can I ask you? Do you know somebody called Jean? And I'm connected
Not
to
that
your
I recall right now.
Okay, I'm connected to your mother somehow. Is your mum here or passed?
My mom passed in November.
Interesting.
But
so there's a Jean. It's okay, my love. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, but I've got this lady with me, and I know I'm not saying her name is Jean, but there's a connection to Jean, so you'd have to think back. Your mum has been beside you, holding your hand for a while. And the weirdest thing is, she says you've cried a lot of tears writing this. So is it very close to home for you, my love?
Yeah.
Because your mum says, I'm so sorry. I hope I haven't upset you, but I had a standing here.
No, it's fine.
And she just said that she's very proud of you because actually, in a lot of ways, this has been a self-healing book for you as well. So it's almost like the written word has helped you heal.
It's also about abuse, yes, and I was abused.
But it's helped you. Do you get what your mum's trying to say?
Yes. The first part of the book is about Jen. Jen is my main character in my book.
Well, there we go then.
And her husband beats her. And the whole story, the first part of the story wraps around Jen being beaten by her husband, and she leaves and goes to a woman's shelter and ends up working at a hospital as a counselor.
There you go then. So I know she was shouting in my ear about something. It all makes sense to you now. So what I'm saying to you is that your mum is very proud of you, but I feel that she's also apologizing because she said, I'm sorry I let you down. And I don't know if that was to do with the abuse. I don't know if that was at the end. I don't think we need to go into your life history over the air. But what I do say is that she wants to
very
understand
hard
that
religion. My mother told me that my mother taught me that God was sending everybody to hell instead of telling me that God loves us.
Because she said,
that's why she's apologizing.
Okay, you understand the message.
I understand.
I didn't want to. Okay, well, if you never got an apology this side of life from your mum, you're certainly getting one now. And she does actually say that she got an awful lot wrong. my love, an awful lot wrong.
So she
Awful
was
lot
a
wrong.
wonderful mother.
But she keeps going
She
on
just
about
never let us.
an awful lot wrong. So I think it's maybe her interpretation, or maybe the way you had to live your lives, or the way that I don't think that your mum. I think she was a great mother, but I don't know if you could go to her with what I would say girly things anyway, or inner thoughts.
No.
Or do you understand
And
what I mean?
we weren't allowed to be children. We couldn't
No.
play with other children. It was all church.
Okay. Well, you can understand. I don't think too much of anything for me is not. We need a balance to everything. And what I want to say is that your mum is actually quite remorseful over some of the choices and the way that she did things. And she got it wrong. So I guess your religion didn't necessarily believe in people going to spirit. But anyway, she's here for you today, and she loves you very much, and she's very proud of you. You've done her proud.
Thank you.
Done her proud. Okay.
I love my mom, and I forgive her for how she raised us.
That's
we
fine.
couldn't be children.
And she's lovely, and she just was very intent on coming through. So Jean's your character, is it?
Yes.
Ah, interesting. How bizarre that. I've never seen your book, so I love the way spirit works and give me stuff. And now we've made that connection.
She's the main character.
Main character. Gosh, how interesting that.
Yes.
Okay, my love. Well, I'm going to leave that all with you, and I wish you all the best. And I'm going to leave your mum's love with you as well. All right.
And can you tell me something about my son? I lost him 5 years ago.
Okay. I've got a tough passing here, my love. Can you tell me? I've got all my energy is going. I've only got 60 seconds left. But did he die?
Okay.
My energy was leaving his body for some reason. Did he die of like drugs or something? Or I don't know. But my energy is leaving my body.
He went to get pills for pain, and they gave him two capsules of heroin, and he passed away from heroin.
That makes sense, because the energy was going from your son is fine. I will tell you, go and see a medium or get a reader with somebody, because I do think he wants to speak to you, okay? I've only got 30 seconds left, so I'm going to have to say I'll leave all their love with you. I'm sorry I didn't have time to spend too much on your son, but, to book yourself a reading with somebody, because he'd love to speak to you, okay?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck with everything. So, that draws another Tuesday evening to a close. I'm hoping to have one of my other team, another member of my team, here next week. And hopefully that will transpire. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different again. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave all your loved ones with you, and wish you a very happy week, and see you next Tuesday.